So we took the introduction. We learned what Sarf is. It is the science that deals with the forms of the Arabic words, the structures of the Arabic words. Bina is the word. It's the science that deals with the bina of the Arabic words. Bina means building. Like you live in a bina, a building. As opposed to nahu, which is the science that deals with how the words relate to each other in the sentence. So yes, it is appropriate for us to take the sarf here. Although nahu is the most important science in Arabic language. Subhanallah. So the author said, وَكُلُّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا إِمَّا سَالِمٌ أَوْ غَيْرُ سَالِمٌ. So this is really where we're going to start today. Each one of them, each one of those two, the mujarrad and the mazidun fihi. Let me see. My own copy here. I have my copy right here in my hand. Because it's important for you to have a copy, which is called your asl, as you know. Meaning, we didn't just pick up the book and start reading it. La, we have been educated. We learned the book by transmission from teachers. I learned this book from teachers. I have my own copy that I physically had in the classroom, writing in it, which is in my hand right now. This is a PDF I'm sharing with you that I got offline somewhere. Somebody shared with me. This copy I'm sharing with you, I didn't read it. Maybe there's mistakes in here. Maybe there's something extra in here that's not in mine, or something missing, etc. Not to mention that we're supposed to have memorized the metin. You always memorize the metin. Really, 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 if you're in a proper Islamic educational setting, what people might call madrasa or ma'ahad or jami'ah. I'm not talking about just the school, though. Maybe some people say madrasa, they mean just like grade school. I'm not even talking about the grade school. I'm talking about religious education. You're always supposed to memorize metin. You're going to be memorizing the Quran. You're going to be memorizing hadiths. You're going to be learning different sciences. In those sciences, you're going to be learning texts, and you're going to be memorizing the texts. You're going to come out very powerful after all that Islamic education. Very strong. The kuffar don't memorize anything but their alphabets. Takriban. So, but I don't have it memorized anymore also. So that I can actually just look at this PDF without looking at my own copy. So anyway, I told you those things because it's important. Even those are digression to remind you about how is the religious education. So this is how I took it. ثم الفعل إما ثلاثي وإما رباعي وكل واحد منهما إما مجرد أو مزيد فيه وكل واحد منهما إما سالم أو غير سالم. What did he say here? وكل واحد منهما, that's right, إما مجرد أو مزيد فيه وكل واحد, look right there, منها, there's a mistake right there. That should say وكل واحد منهما, put a meme right there, منهما وكل واحد منهما إما سالم أو غير سالم. ونعني بالسالم, what we mean by sound is ما سلمت حروفه الأصلية التي تقابل بالفاء والعين واللام من حروف العلة والهمزة والتضعيف. So you're supposed to memorize all that. That's a little bit, really. This is a small booklet. This is a pocket-sized booklet here. And we mean by salim, sound, that which its original letters are clear of being unstable letters or hamza, or repeated. And I gave you examples for all of that last time. What are the unstable letters? We have them written here right now. The alif, the waw, the ya. Those are the unstable letters. Huruful illah. So if any of the original letters of a word are one of those, then that word is ghayru salim, unsound. And we're going to talk about that later. He's telling you now, though, but we're going to talk about that kind later. And hamza, you know what's hamza? There's the hamza. And we mentioned last time how sometimes it's written on an alif, sometimes it's written on a waw, sometimes it's written on a ya. But in all these cases, it's only hamza. Sometimes it's written on a seat. So whenever the original letter of a word, any original letter of a word is a hamza, then that word is ghayru salim, unsound. You saw examples last time. And whenever any of the original letters are repeated, then that word is unsound. Okay. So there's a piece of the sentence that we didn't explain yet, where the author says, "Allati tuqabalu bil fa'i wal 'ayni wal lam." So his entire sentence reads like this: "Wa na'ni bis salim." What we mean by salim is ma salimat hurufuhu al-asliyah, that which its original letters, allati tuqabalu bil fa'i wal 'ayni wal lam, those original letters that are represented by fa and ayn and lam, min huruf al-'illati wal hamzati wal tad'if. They are clear of unstable letters, hamza, and repeated letters. So what does this mean here? Allati tuqabalu bil fa'i wal 'ayni wal lam. Let's take a look. Pardon me. The author says here, rahimahullah, allati tuqabalu bil fa'i wal 'ayni wal lam. Okay. Those which, allati here, those which, or that which, this allati means the original letters. Those original letters which tuqabalu here, tuqabalu means they are represented. Represented, tuqabalu. Might mean compared to, or mirrored by. Mirrored by. It means represented. Bil fa'i wal 'ayni wal lam, by the fa and the ayn and the lam. So we're now talking about the fi'l, the verb. And what we are saying here is that this Arabic verb has to have at least 3 letters. It can't have less than 3 letters. It will never have originally, yani, less than 3 letters. Now, could you have your 3 letters and then one of them gets omitted? Yes. So that means if one of them got omitted, means you got 2 letters now. But originally the verb's going to be 3 letters. You had to omit one to get to 2. It's never going to be originally 2. Arabic verb must have at least 3 letters. Also the noun. It's true for the verb and the noun. Must have at least 3 letters. Original letters. So, for example, you know, ضرب. He struck like سمع. He heard like, for example, بلع. بلع. He swallowed. بلع. Or كتب. He wrote. كتب. Etc. Okay. Didn't we say Arabic language is a language of patterns? Yes. So since Arabic is a language of patterns, if you have a pattern, that means then you can have a model. A model to base your to base your patterns. So what do all these words that I just wrote for you have in common? They all have in common 3 letters. That they are 3 letters. So is there any way we can represent every single one of these words with one expression? One expression that represents what they have in common? Yes, we can. We can say, these are 3 letters. All of them are original letters. None of them is an extra letter. So we can say that the first letter is represented by a fa. And the second letter is represented by an ayn. And the third letter is represented by a lam. So if we say that, then we're saying here, daraba, the dad of daraba is the fa of this word. And the sin of sami'a is the fa of this word. And the ba and bala'a is the fa of this word. And the kaf in kataba is the fa of this word. And now you see where I'm going to go with that, right? So it means then the ra of daraba is the ayn of this word. And the meme of sami'a is the ayn of this word. The lam of bala'a is the ayn of this word. The ta of kataba is the ayn of this word. And so it's obvious for you. The ba in daraba is the lam of this word. And the ayn of sami'a is the lam of this word. The ayn of bala'a is the ayn of this word. The ba of kataba is the lam of this word. I don't know if my tongue just slipped there, saying all those letters. So tell me if that's clear, please. Or do you have a question? So you're going to say the pattern of daraba is fa'ala. Because you got to match the vowels too. And you're going to say the pattern of sami'a is fa'ila. Or the Arabic word is wazn, the wazn. That I'm translating as pattern. Usually wazn would translate as weight. W-E-I-G-H-T. And also kataba has that same pattern as daraba. The pattern of kataba also is Fa'ala. What else we put here? Bala'a. The pattern of bala'a also is fa'ala. There's something else like sami'a. Yeah, like nalblija. 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 So the pattern of nalblija is fa'ila. And here's a verb for you. Hasuna. 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 So the pattern of hasuna is what? You deduced it. Fa'ula. Not guessed it. You didn't guess it. You deduced it. That wasn't a guess. So, any question here?
What does hasuna mean?
To be nice or to be beautiful. That's a special kind of verb. This verb doesn't really display an action. This verb displays a quality. Usually when past tense verb has a dhamma in the middle, it has the meaning of a quality, not an action per se. Now a verb, fi'l, it does literally mean action. So this is a fi'l, hasuna, but its meaning is not for a real action. It's for a quality. That's part of the vastness of Arabic. That's how Arabic has patterns too. So when you see one, like I just told you, past tense verb, fi'lun madin, waznuhu, with the pattern of fa'ula, it probably has the meaning of a quality. Excuse me. Like qabuha. Qabuha. That means to be ugly. That's a past tense verb. He was ugly. Qabuha. You could say, for example, you could say, qabuha wajhuhu. What that means, his face was ugly. This is not a real action, though. Okay. So now you understand what the wazn is. Yani, there are many awzan. The wazn is the representation of the word. When using these representative letters, fa, ayn, and lam. Fa, ayn, and lam are always the representative letters. And then you're going to build around those. Whatever is the extra letter, you're going to put it into the model. Why these, though? Why fa, ayn, and lam, out of all the letters, did they use these to be representative? For one, fa, ayn, and lam, those three have the meaning of an action, or an event, or an occurrence, fi'l. And that's a very broad meaning, so it's appropriate. The meaning of fi'l, yani, event, occurrence, is most appropriate here. And also, the scholars said, they pointed out the fact that, look, fa, it comes from the lip. And ayn comes from the throat. And lam comes from the tongue. And so we want to use this also because none of the representative letters come from the same spot. Each one of these representative letters come from a completely different location when articulating them. And so that has also for us some significance. So we're going to use fa, ayn, and lam. It's perfect for us to use as the representative letters. So let me show you really quick here. Wait, I think I already have it written. So you see here. Just take this first list here. Bismillah. This one here. This list here, written in white. Fa'ala. That's past tense verb. There's no extra letters in there. What's the pattern of fa'ala? Fa'ala. That's a real verb. Yani, the fact that they use those letters for representing other letters doesn't deny the fact that fa'ala is a real word. Fa'ala means he did. So that's why they like to use this word to be the representative letters. That's why they like to use these letters to be the representative letters. Because of that broad meaning of he did. Fa'ala. So the pattern of fa'ala is fa'ala. Yaf'alu. Yaf'alu. That's present tense verb. The pattern of yaf'alu is yaf'alu. Yani, this is the patterns right here. Because those are the representative letters. Fi'lan. Fi'lan. So for example, there's a word in Arabic which is, I'll squeeze it in here, ضعف. ضعف. So what's the wazn? What's the pattern of this word ضعف? The wazn is fi'l. Fa'il. That's the wazn there. So you can now tell, where's the extra letter in fa'il? Who's going to tell us? What's the extra letter in fa'il? Who shall deduce the answer there? There's no hamza in fa'il. The alif. Yes, the alif. So now it's very clear for you. So fa'il has one extra letter in it. So look at here. Darib follows the pattern. Sami' follows the pattern. Maf'ul. Maf'ul. So how many extra letters? I'm asking for a number. How many extra letters are in maf'ul? 2. هكذا. So that meme is an extra letter and the wow is an extra letter. All right. So let's go back to the matan. The author said, وَنَعْنِي بِالسَّالِمِ. What we mean by salim is مَا سَلِمَتْ حُرُوفُهُ الْأَصْلِيَّةِ, that which its original letters, التي تقابل بالفاء والعين واللام, those original letters that are represented by fa and ain and lam, من حروف العلة والهمزة والتضعيف, they are sound clear of unstable letters and hamza and tad'if, of being unstable letters or a hamza or repeated. All right. So now the author's getting started. He says, وَأَمَّا الثُّلَاثِيُّ الْمُجَرَّدِ. Now, as for the bare triliteral verb, فَإِنْ كَانَ مَاضِيهِ عَلَى وَزْنِ فَعَلْ. If its past tense were upon, the pattern. Fa'al, fa'ala. Why I didn't say that last fatha? Because I stopped. It's the rule in Arabic. You stop on a sukoon. That's proper Arabic. أما الثلاثي المجرد فإن كان ماضيه على وزن فعل. If its past tense had the pattern of فعل, فعل, مفتوح العين, and then he told you clearly with the middle letter being given a fatha, with the middle letter being given a fatha, مفتوح العين, مفتوح فاء تاء حاء فتحة فتحة مفتوح مفعول done to. The maf'ul is the pattern that means done, received, receive the action. So it means maftuh here. Maftuh here refers to the fatha, so it means the ayn was given a fatha, the ayn received a fatha. Maftuh al-ayn. So if the triliteral verb, the bare triliteral verb, if it's mildly has the pattern of fa'ala, with the middle letter being given a fatha, فمضارعه يفعل أو يفعل بضم العين أو كسرها نحو نصر ينصر وضرب يضرب. Then, if this is the pattern of such a past tense verb, then its present or future tense form, the same form, mudari', I'm going to call present future tense. Present future tense, I'm not going to call it imperfect. I was just having a discussion yesterday. I'm not going to call past tense perfect, I'm going to call it past tense. Mudari' is present or future tense, like the scholars say. So its present / future tense form would be then yaf'ulu or yaf'ilu بضم العين أو كسرها, with a dhamma on the ayn, yaf'ulu, or a kasra on it, yaf'ilu. Nahwu, such as nasara yansuru. What did he do? He gave us past tense, then present tense. Like I told you, that's how they do sarf. You have to remember the sequence. Past, then present. Then, what's third? You can tell me what's third. In 5, 4, 3, nope. 2, nope. The masdar, the source noun, comes third. Remember? Show you again. When they do sarf. Number 1 is mawdi, fa'ala. Number 2 is mudari', yaf'alu. Number 3 is source noun, fi'lan. So you say daraba yadribu darban, sami'a yasma'u sam'an, akala ya'kulu aklan, etc., etc., etc. I told you, if I only want to give you 2, I'm going to give you past tense and present tense. And I'm going to call this verb present and future tense. I'm going to use all that. Present tense or future tense, or present / future tense. I just want you to be familiar with my words. Mudari'. You start with mildly past tense. Then you go to mudari'. If you only wanted to do 2. If you wanted to do 3, then you're going to add the source noun. If you wanted to do 4, then you're going to add the doer. The doer is number 4. That's how it goes. ضرب يضرب ضربا, سمع يسمع سمعا, فعل يفعل sorry. ضرب يضرب ضربا فهو ضارب. سمع يسمع سمعا فهو سامع. فعل يفعل فعلا فهو فاعل. So now the author is only at level 2. He wants to tell us how to go from the Maldi to the Mudari'. Yes, Mudari' can be called future tense. I'm going to call it present tense or future tense or present/future tense. I'll use any of those. The scholars use those. They call it al-hal, that means present. And they call it al-mustaqbal, that means future. And they're talking about the same verb, mudari'. So the author said here, if the maldi, if the past tense were fa'ala with the fatha in the middle, then the mudari' is going to be yaf'ulu or yaf'ilu with a dhamma in the middle or a kasra in the middle. It's going to always be the middle. That's the middle letter. Ayn is the middle letter. I'm telling you that because you can have many extra letters sometimes. Many extra letters, Yani. In Arabic, in Arabic verbs, you can go up to 6 letters. In Arabic sentences, you can go up to 7 letters. No less than 3, and if it's a verb, not more than 6. And if it's a noun, not more than 7 letters, including extra letters. So where that ayn's going to fall, in the closer to the end, closer to the beginning, doesn't matter. It's the middle letter. So I hope that's clear for you. So that ayn, that middle letter there, if the maldi was fa'ala, then the mudari' is going to be yaf'ulu or yaf'ilu. And he gave an example. Nasara yansuru wa daraba yadribu. So nasara, the fatha in the middle letter there, nasara has the wazn of fa'ala. So the mudari' and the mudari' for nasara is yansuru with a dhamma. And daraba also, the middle letter has fatha. And the mudari' for daraba is yadribu. So go ahead, ask me your question, please. Okay, the question is, how do I know? Isn't that the question? Isn't that your question? How would I know which way to do it? How I don't know to say nasara yansiru or daraba yadrubu? So the answer is, in Arabic language, there's 2 ways that you can know something. In Arabic language, not in Islamic religion, in Arabic language. I'm talking now. Not in fiqh, I mean. I'm not talking about fiqh now, I'm talking about Arabic language. In Arabic language, you can know something by 2 ways. Either by sama' or by qiyas. Sama' means hearing, as you know. Qiyas means comparison. I'm going to call that consistent rule. Qiyas means consistent rule. So in this case, the answer to how you're going to know which way, because nasara has fatha in the middle, and daraba has a fatha in the middle. But the mudari' for nasara is yansuru with a dhamma in the middle, and the mudari' for daraba is yadribu with a kasra in the middle. So how do you know? Sama' by sama'. That means you need to hear it. In this case, you need to hear it. There's no rule here. This is how the Arabic language came. That's how the Arabs were speaking. So they used to say, daraba yadribu with a kasra. And they used to say, Nasara yansuru with a dhamma. And remember, they were not documenting their own language. They were not documenting their own language, the ancient Arabs. They were just speaking it properly with a knack for it, a natural knack for Arabic in such a way that they don't make mistakes. Then Islam came. Then the non-Arabs and the Arabs started mixing in such a way that made the Arabs start to lose their knack for their own language. So then they started documenting. And then the documenters, they said what we just read now. If the Maldi is fa'ala with the fatha, then the mudari' is yaf'ulu or yaf'ilu. How they knew that? Because they knew so much Arabic. They knew so much Arabic. They were so strong in Arabic. They had such a big picture in Arabic that they knew. They could tell you. They were able to quantify it for you. So they quantified it for us. They did us they had all the knowledge and the hard work, and then they simplified it for us. So that's how we know, by hearing it. Now you might have another question. How did the Arabs know to say it that way? Where did it come from? So the answer is, well, if you know the answer, you didn't have the question. The answer is Allah revealed Arabic language. Adam alayhi salam, what appears from the hadith is that Arabic is the first thing he pronounced when he sneezed. And then he said, Alhamdulillah. And other languages were revealed to Adam too. Those are the original languages. So Arabic is an original language, and this is how it arrived. This is how it reached us, in this way. That you say, Nasara yansuru and daraba yadribu. You have to hear it. And there's not a consistent rule here for you to be able to deduce from. Any questions so far? Then the author says, وَيَجِيءُ عَلَى وَزْنِ يَفْعَلْ بِفَتْحِ الْعَيْنِ. And it comes also, meaning the mudari' for the maldi, which is fa'ala. The mudari' for the maldi, which is fa'ala, it comes also as yaf'alu بِفَتْحِ الْعَيْنِ, with the fatha on the ayn. But now, if you know how things go, you're going to say, that must be a special case then. Or else, why did he single it out? There wouldn't be any point to single it out unless there's something special here. So he tells you what's special about that one. He says, إِذَا كَانَ عَيْنُ فِعْلِهِ أَوْ لَامُهُ حَرْفًا مِنْ حُرُوفِ الْحَلْقِ. That's when Ainu fi'lihi, the ayn of the verb. The ayn of the verb. What's the ayn of the verb? It's the middle letter. Oh, lamuhu, or it's lam. What's the lam of the verb? It's last original letter. The ayn is the middle original letter. The fa is the first original letter. The ayn is the middle original letter. The lam is the last original letter. It doesn't have to be the very first letter, the fa. The ayn doesn't have to be the very middle letter. The lam doesn't have to be the very last letter. Because fa, ayn, lam represent the what? The original letters, not the extra letters. Extra letters don't have a representation, meaning extra letters appear in person. When you do wazn, when you do the patterns, the extra letters appear in person. It's the original letters, they don't have to appear in person. They have representatives. So, إِذَا كَانَ عَيْنُ فِعْلِهِ أَوْ لَامُهُ حَرْفًا مِنْ حُرُوفِ الْحَلْقِ. This will be the case when the ayn of the verb or the lam of the verb is a throat letter, or what do they call it? I think it's guttural. Guttural letter. Remind me, please. I didn't look in the Tajweed book in a while. The guttural letter, I think, is the word. Throat letter. Okay, thank you. Wahiya sitta. There are 6 of them. 6 such throat letters. You knew it if you studied Tajweed. Al-hamzatu wal-ha'u wal-'aynu wal-ha'u wal-ghaynu wal-kha'. The hamza and the ha all the way at the bottom of your throat. Hamza, I, u. That's hamza. I, u. Ha, he, hu. It's all the way at the bottom of your throat. And ayn, that's in the middle of the throat. And the ha, ayn and ha in the middle of the throat. Ayn, ru. And ha, he, hu. And ghayn and kha at the top of the throat, meaning right next to the back of the mouth. Because the throat is not in the mouth. The throat is not in the mouth. The throat is not in the mouth. So the top of the throat is right at the back of the mouth. Ra, 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 ri, ru. Kha, chi, hu. Nahu, such as sa'ala yas'alu wa mana'a yamna'u. So you see here, sa'ala, the middle letter is from the throat in the Maudi. Sa'ala with the middle letter from the throat. Middle letter has a fatha from the throat. The middle letter has a fatha from the throat. Yas'alu, the mudari' came out with a fatha on the middle letter. Here, the last letter, last original letter, sometimes I try to make it easy for myself and say fewer words. So please follow me. If I say anything that's confusing, then ask, please. Last letter means last original letter. The last letter here is from the throat. And so in the mudari' form, there was a fatha on the middle letter. So what does that do for you? Well, in order for this right here to click for you, probably you need to be so familiar with Arabic. Like, if you are an ancient Arab, then yeah, that really flows for you there because it's embedded in you. Which is that this middle letter in sa'ala comes from the throat and has a fatha. So then when I make the mudari', the middle letter is going to have a fatha. So if you're not one of those ancient Arabs, you don't even feel that. Same thing. Mana'a yamna'u. This last letter is from the throat and it has the pattern of fa'ala. So then my mudari' is going to be yamna'u with a fatha on the middle letter. Wa aba ya'ba shadh. But this aba ya'ba is an anomaly in Arabic language. It came out this way. Meaning aba ya'ba. So you know that's past tense and present tense because that's the way you do it. Aba ya'ba. It's like I'm saying it like one word. Aba ya'ba. I'm say sa'ala yas'alu mana'a yamna'u. Aba ya'ba. Aba ya'ba is shadh. That's an anomaly. Yani, it's irregular. Meaning, it's not going according to the qiyas. It's not going according to the consistent rule. Why not? Because the middle letter here, so aba, first of all, here's my question for you. Aba ya'ba, is this sound or unsound? Is this verb, aba ya'ba, sound or unsound? Unsound because of the existence of Two things. One, its first original letter is a hamza, and its second original letter is an unstable letter. So this verb is unsound. Okay, just to point that out for you. That means something happened, in other words. If unsound, that means there's something going on in the background. We haven't even talked about it yet because we're just getting started. So Aba, what's the origin of Aba? The origin of Aba, what are its root letters? Yani, its wazn is fa'ala. But the last fatha is not going to show up because you can't put a fatha on an alif. So we're just going to estimate it there. The origin of Aba, its root letters are Hamza, Ba, Ya. Hamza, Ba, Ya. Is the Ba from the throat? No, it is not. Is the Ya from the throat? No, it is not. So why then is the mudari' of Aba, Ya'ba, if neither the middle nor the last letters are from the throat? Because it is shadh. In this case, this is an anomaly in Arabic that did not go according to the consistent rule. Arabic has shudhudh. Shudhudh. Irregularity. We asked Sheikh Salah Sa'd, why does Arabic have shudhudh? This is the Arabic language. He said, every language has shudhudh. Every one of them. They all have shudhudh. That means every language has something in it that is inconsistent or doesn't run according to a rule. It doesn't have a gauge. It doesn't go according to certain gauge. So, the synopsis of all of what we just said right now is that if you have a malbi that has the pattern of fa'ala, how are you going to make the mudari'? The mudari' is either going to be yaf'ulu or yaf'ilu or yaf'alu. So it's either going to be yaf'ulu, the mudari', or it's going to be yaf'ilu, or it's going to be yaf'alu for this pattern here. Fa'ala yaf'ulu, like nasara yansuru, or fa'ala yaf'ilu, like daraba yadribu, or fa'ala yaf'alu, like sa'ala yas'alu, mana'a yamna'u. And now the author is going to talk about what if though the maldi is fa'ila, how the mudari' is going to be. Or what if the maldi is fa'ula, and how's the mudari' going to be? But we're going to save that for next week, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala. So do you have any question I can answer for you? We'll stop here. What does ya'ba mean? He refused. He said the Hansword Dictionary, though it is not religiously authentic, can the non-Arabic speaker benefit from it in terms of understanding verb roots? Well, it's useful. It is useful. It just needs to know some things, some conventions in Hansware. Like, for example, if you were looking up a word like radda, we were looking up a word like radda. So in Hansware, you're going to look under ra dal only. You're not going to look for a third letter, which is 3 letters here. The other books, you're going to look under ra dal dal. That means, yani, what's the point of that? Point is that, for example, what if there is a word that its root letters are ra, dal, hamza? Then, if you count radda only as two letters, then you're going to find radda before you find ra, dal, hamza. But if you count ra, dal, dal as three letters, then you're going to find ra, dal, dal after ra, dal, hamza. So some things like that you need to know about how Hans Wehr does. In some of the Arabic dictionaries, Islamic Arabic dictionaries, they do that too. So that's not foreign, really. Hans Wehr is useful. It, for the most part, doesn't seem to have wrong information in it. But it does not follow, yani, it's an Orientalist book. It's not how the Muslim scholars do their dictionaries. There are other books out that are more sarfi, more like not dictionary definitions, but sarf, just giving you verbs and forms and meanings. Like maybe not even meanings, but giving you verbs and forms. You want to know the verb and the form, so you look and you find it. And you might not even have the meaning there, actually. So in this regard, Hans Wehr is I don't think it's harmful here. But don't use al-mawrid, that dictionary mawrid. That's a bad idea. I don't know who even had that idea. Somebody who figured out how to make the people weak in Arabic had the idea for mawrid. Amin wa fikum. What dictionary would I suggest? For someone who needs an Arabic English dictionary, I would suggest Hans Wehr. Some people suggest Mughni al-Farid. Mughni al-Farid. There's another one. It's on the level of Hans Wehr. Some people prefer it over Hans Wehr. Mughni al-Farid. I think I found profanity in there, though. I might not be spelling it the way the publication spells it also. Publishers, I mean. Do I recommend doing the Medina books? The Medina books, those are very useful. But they have different ones. Like when you say the Medina books, I think it's too broad for me to give you an answer. But what I would recommend is I do recommend a person, a Muslim who is in a non-Arabic speaking environment, I do recommend for him just to dabble in Arabic from as much as he can, because all of it's going to contribute and benefit him. To write Arabic words out whenever he can, for example, when he's taking notes and hears Arabic words, he's going to write them in Arabic. Don't write them in English letters. To read some things in Arabic if you can. To try to translate something, for example. To ask for proofs about things. For example, before I knew how to speak Arabic and read and understand Arabic, I had got my hands on an excerpt from the book of Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Fath al-Bari, in which he explains the hadith of Nuzul. And I just really couldn't translate it or anything or make it out. I couldn't. But I asked one of the sheikhs, I said, can you just read this to me? I want to hear what he's saying. I was told that this has in the explanation for the hadith. I cannot understand it. Can you translate it for me? So he said, okay. So he just took it And I think even he didn't, that one who was translating for me, he didn't even take the document himself by talaqi. He was just capable of translating to his ability. So he was translating for me, and okay, he's clarifying for me. Makes okay, I see. Okay. So then when he did that, then I took that and I would start working on that. So I was now looking into the words. It helped me a lot so that I can look into the words and try to start figure things out. There's still word forms in there I don't know. And trying to figure out extra letters. Where's the extra letters? Where's the original letters? What's going on here? What does this word mean? How's these words working together? How does the sentence go? So all of that's not going to make me speak Arabic at the end of the day, but it's helping and it's contributing. So my advice is for a person to dabble in the Arabic, a person in probably all of your situation, to dabble in the Arabic until he gets the opportunity to get himself into an Arabic speaking environment, and then he will at least have reaped whatever benefits he could from while he was before he got there in that Arabic speaking environment. And memorize the Quran. This helps a lot. It helps a lot if you can read the Quran. Memorize Juz' Amma and Juz' Tabarak. And memorize the whole Quran, of course. But we're just starting. Memorize Juz' Amma. Sit under a proper teacher, though, so you can get proper pronunciation. This helps a lot. That helps with your reading, helps with your pronunciation, at the very least. Some people tell me, your Arabic's so clear. You know how I got clear Arabic? From reciting Quran. Now I'm trying to learn Spanish. I feel so embarrassed to have such a strong accent. I'm not used to a strong accent. Subhanallah. But if there's no other question, then let's sign out. Ameen Wafiq. Subhanak. Oh, you said, can we get this book from Amazon? Probably. If you talk about Hans Weir, try to find a cheap one, though. Because somebody's going to charge you up for a Hans Weir. It's not worth all that money. Hans Weir, I won't give Hans Weir worth more than $30. Personally. That's going to be like brand new one. It's going to come to you in plastic. Oh, Lane's Lexicon, that's good, but so big. So that's the only thing about that one. It's too big to be convenient. That's for somebody who's maybe doing something else. Actually, I had the idea to do that the way Lane's Lexicon is. I had that idea before I knew about the lexicon. I started it. I started my idea, that is. So I translated. I have something that's called Kitab al-Hamza. I never finished. I never got beyond Hamza because so much work. It's a lot, mashallah. So that one, though, Lane's Lexicon, he does imitate Muslim style because he was actually literally translating out of the Arabic Islamic dictionaries, the Muslim dictionaries. Hans Weir, he had to be taking out of the Islamic dictionaries, but as an Orientalist, maybe he's a hater and he doesn't want to give anybody any credit. So I didn't see in there anywhere where he cited a single Muslim scholar. I don't know how he came up with a dictionary without looking into the dictionaries of the scholars. He didn't look at anybody's work bil marra at all. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.